Good afternoon and welcome to the United Stand. I'm joined by Fabrizio Romano for a live Manchester United transfer chat. How are you doing, Fabrizio?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you. Happy to be together again and ready to answer your questions.
Yeah, very, very busy. I'm going to start off about Camavinga. I heard what you said last night about Camavinga progressing with Manchester United. I just wanted to ask you, I read something from French outlet, I think it's Le Parisien, saying that a bid from Manchester United could go in this week, but Real Madrid are interested. Where do you sort of sit with the Manchester United Camavinga thing at the moment? Do you think it is a deal that could happen quickly, or do you think it's going to take a bit of time? Other clubs interested?
As we said last week, there is no rush in this deal, so I don't see something happening like in this week or something like this. It will take some time. But for sure, Manchester United have an interest. As I said yesterday night, they are working on it. They are in direct contact with Camavinga, with Rennes. They want to work on this deal this summer. They like the player, but as always mentioned, also many other top European clubs like the player, in particular Paris Saint-Germain, not only Real Madrid, but Paris Saint-Germain are really interested in Camavinga. And Manchester United are in the race, so they like the player. They are thinking of moving this summer with an official bid, so we will see what happens in the next days. But of course, if you like the player and if you're having contacts, it's because you want to try to sign the player. From what I know, Rennes would be open to negotiate around 35 million euro. From Rennes, they are denying, and it's normal because I think it's part of the poker game in this kind of deals. But it's always important to remember that Camavinga is out of contract in 1 year. So it means that from the 1st of September, if they are not selling the player, many clubs will be jumping in the race, Manchester United, Paris Saint-Germain, and many others. And in January, he will be able to sign as free agent for the next season with the club he picks, and they are losing the player for free. So it would be a disaster for Rennes. So that's why the club know that this summer they have to be prepared to negotiate. We will see what happens, but for sure, Manchester United have a serious interest in Camavinga, and they are working on it.
I know when you spoke about Sancho in the past and also Varane, which we'll talk about in a minute, you've mentioned that personal terms wouldn't be a problem for the player in Manchester United. Do you see personal terms, Manchester United, do you think they will have had that chat already, or do you think that that's something United might have to sort out as well, personal terms with Camavinga?
No, they know that Camavinga would love to join Manchester United, so he's really open to this Premier League move, as he appreciates also Paris Saint-Germain. He has not made his final choice, but he knows about Manchester United interest, and he appreciates the club, of course, the top club, the history. So I think personal terms also in this case are not a problem. I'm not saying that they have an agreement, but I'm saying that I don't see any problem on this side, because the player would love to move to the Premier League or to Paris Saint-Germain or to any top club. So he's prepared to do this move, and it is not a problem. I think the real problem is to find an agreement with Rennes and to understand the right way to sign Camavinga, how much they have to pay, and also about the structure of the payment. So everything involved in the top deal, like signing Camavinga, because in my personal opinion, signing Camavinga for 35 million euro would be a steal, would be something incredible.
Yeah, and you think that Rennes may take something that little because there's 1 year left on the contract? Because I agree, I think 50 million euro I would do Camavinga, but 35 is a fantastic deal if it can, for whoever does it.
Yeah, so I think when weeks are going on, slowing down, because it's impossible to ask 50, 60 million euro for a player that you can sign for free from the 1st of January. So also for top clubs, would make sense in this case to wait. If you're asking for 60 or 70 million euro, top clubs are preferring to wait, go on the 1st of January and offer the same money to the player for 5 years with crazy wages, and they have the player. So also makes sense for the top clubs to offer around 35 million euro this summer to sign Camavinga. Then we will see, because it's important to respect Rennes and their idea. But from what I know, there are chances to sign the player for this fee.
I'll bring Pogba in at this point. I was going to mention him in a few minutes, but I'll bring him in at this point because we're mentioning PSG, and there has been some stories over the weekend here in the UK that PSG are preparing an offer for Paul Pogba. How do you think Camavinga fits into Manchester United's recruitment of Pogba, and do you see PSG moving for Paul Pogba in United, maybe going for Camavinga, or do you think they're very separate things?
From what I know, is everything separate. At the moment with Pogba, there are no negotiations with top clubs. So Manchester United are not in talks with any club for Paul Pogba. And as I said last time, they want to keep Pogba this summer. So I think it won't be easy for Paris Saint-Germain to sign this player, also if he's out of contract in 1 year. I think it's really difficult to sign Pogba this summer. We will see what Paris Saint-Germain will do, because at the moment they are doing a fantastic transfer market, so they are able to do everything they want, maybe, and we will see if they will try. But at the moment, I'm told that it's really quiet on Pogba. So also on the new contract situation, it's really, really quiet. So we need to wait a bit to see what happens in the next few days, and then we will have the final answer also on Camavinga and Pogba. But with Pogba, I think it's nothing imminent. If something is going to happen, it will be in August or in the end of July. And to be clear, at the moment, there are no negotiation between Manchester United and any other club for Paul Pogba.
Yeah, we have a journalist over here called Simon Stone who works with the BBC, and he was saying, I think on Saturday, that Manchester United were in negotiations for a contract with Paul Pogba. But I would imagine that's normal. Manchester United will at some point make an offer to Paul Pogba, and then he will decide what he wants to do.
Of course. I think it's normal also for the club to try again. I still remember in November when Mino Raiola was going against the club and saying that Pogba is ready to leave. Then in football, things change so quickly. Now you have Sancho. Now the feeling around the club is really positive for the next season. So I think really that now the feeling around Manchester United in general is different since November, and that's why the situation make a change. So we will see. But for sure, new contract is one of the things that Manchester United want to do.